Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. I first of all want to say a massive thank you for the incredible response that my last video got. I was a little bit in shock. It was one of those things where it was really on a whim. I kind of was bored one Sunday and I was like, I'm just gonna edit a video because I actually just really enjoy doing it for fun. And then the more I was doing it, I was like, I really want to put it on YouTube. But then I was going backwards and forwards. Should I put it up? Should I not put it up? Should I put it up? Should I not put it up? The response absolutely blew me away. I thought everyone would be like, who are you? So thank you so much for your messages, your really lovely comments. I truly appreciate it more than I could possibly say. Today's video, as you will have seen in the title, is all about the audition process for Love Never Dies for my role as Alternate Christine Daae. I am planning on doing a Q&A video as well, but one of the overwhelming questions that so many people asked was what the audition process was like, so I thought I'd make a detailed video all about it because I thought that would be really helpful for you guys. Ultimately, this channel is for you. It's about sharing what auditions, West End shows, rehearsal processes are really like, which I am going to be sharing a lot more of on this channel, so click the subscribe button if you haven't already. So let's get into it. One thing I think is really important to mention right at the start of this video is actually, technically, I wasn't first choice for this role. That is something that I want to be really honest and transparent about because I think it's really helpful for you guys and it's not painting an unrealistic picture of what this process was like, what the industry is like. So I originally auditioned for Love Never Dies, I think maybe like a year ago-ish. I auditioned for it, they filmed it, as they do tend to do with large musicals that have a lot of different parts, different people that will want to have their input, some people that are overseas. So it was filmed, I left, and then I just never heard anything, which does tend to happen in this industry quite a lot. You can audition for things and then just never hear yes or no, which is what happened in this situation. I just never heard anything. And in that instance, I normally just think it was a no because you know, if you haven't heard anything for a prolonged period of time, it's most likely a no. Also, if the cast's been announced and the company has also travelled to China, then it's also probably most likely a no. And then I just kind of got on with my life. Didn't really think about it again. And then I believe the tour started kind of around like August, September time last year. Christmas happened, and at some point in January, I believe I got an email from my agent asking me if I would go in for a meeting for Love Never Dies for Alternate Christine, and I was like, huh?
Am I out of my mind? Am I losing my senses?
And at this point, I really wasn't like too involved in what was happening in the industry. I didn't really know, like I didn't really have like a gauge on time at this point in time. So I was like, I swore that happened and I didn't get it, and then they've gone and I'm really confused, but yeah, I'll go to the audition. And I don't know, it just was one of those things I just didn't really think too much about it. I'd already learnt some of the material, but they sent through I think 4 songs, Christine songs, and I think it was kind of one of those things, they were like, if she can come in on a Saturday, that would be great because we're on quite a quick turnaround. You'll be meeting at His Majesty's Theatre. And I was like, never heard of that theatre, but I'm sure I'll be able to find it. But this is where I'm really quite embarrassed because I did not realise what theatre it was because it had changed from a her to a his.
Why are you the way that you are?
Turn up at His Majesty's Theatre, which, for those of you that don't know, most of you probably do, is where the Phantom of the Opera has been playing for the past, what, 35 years? So it's a Saturday at about, I don't know, like 4-ish. They're in the middle of a matinee. Those of you that have been here a long time will know that Phantom is like my favourite show. I love it so much. I love the role of Christine. I love just everything about it. So to then be sat backstage while they are in full matinee, end of Act 1 fantasticness was probably one of the most surreal and incredible experiences ever. So then I met with Simon, who is the musical supervisor for Phantom, Love Never Dies. And yeah, we went backstage during the matinee and I sang for him. I feel like I need to put into context a little bit of where I was at in my head as well. I was very like not expecting anything. I was very kind of, hadn't sung for a really long time. Maybe I'll talk about that in another video. And I'd only recently started singing again. I'd actually only recently just started singing Phantom again, because I always sing Phantom. I just absolutely love the music, Love Never Dies and Phantom of the Opera. I'd had to sing the songs before Christmas for a family occasion, and that was kind of the only reason my voice was ready, really. So I really wasn't in the mindset of kind of like audition, and also it was a really kind of different kind of audition for me, but I just really enjoyed it. And it was the first time in ages I'd sung and felt like, oh, I just love this. I love this music, I love singing it. So then I got an email saying that they wanted to then film me again, because like the last time, they had a lot of people that they needed to send the footage to. So then I had to go back into Central London the following week and film all of the same stuff again with Simon. And yeah, and then it got sent off. Then
10 years later.
I had the longest week of my entire life, because up to that point, I'd just been having a lovely time. And it was one of those things where I was like, oh, I'm just going to go along and have a sing of some stuff that I really enjoy, and I'm not going to get it, but that's fine. I don't know, I just felt really chill about it.
I'm fine!
Then, once the week progressed and the longer time went on and I didn't hear anything, the more kind of crazy I got, and it got to the point where I think a week had passed and I was like, I need to know. And it's like, it's such a horrible feeling. Fellow actors, please comment down below and tell me I'm not the only one that feels like this. It's just like a weird thing. It's like, even obviously you want the job, but it's like, it's just knowing. And when you don't know, oh my gosh, it's like, you can't think about anything else. It's horrible. And I started the week really not even thinking about it. And then it got to about a week later and I was like, and normally I try and abstain from sending the email to my agent saying, have you heard anything? Because if they'd heard anything, they would have told me. But I did send that email. I was like, have you had anything? And my agent said they were still waiting for some people from Rug, I think it was, to watch the tapes or something. I can't quite remember. And also everyone was on different time zones, because there were people in Shanghai, there were people in Australia, there were people in the UK. Everyone had to watch these tapes and give them the thumbs up. So that also is something that comes into it. It's like, they're not trying to keep you waiting. There's a lot of processes these things have to go through. But yeah, when you're the one waiting, you feel like time has stood still. But then, after that time, I got back into my like chill state where I was like, it's fine.
I don't know why it's coming out all loud and squeaky, because really, I'm fine.
I probably haven't got it. It's like last time, I'm not gonna hear. And that's when I found out. My agent rang me and she was like, hi. And then she was like, you're going to Asia. And I was like, eh? So that is then essentially, in a nutshell, the process of like from A to B, how I got the job. I thought I would round off this video with a couple of little tips for you guys from this experience that I feel like may be beneficial for you. First tip, I think the one thing I really take from this whole experience of auditioning is how chilled I was, and I think that really helped. And that is so much easier said than done, because I am probably not the most chilled person, especially when it comes to auditions. Especially, you know, when you really want something, you ain't chill about it. Like, you're just not. But I do believe that me having that slightly, was it negative? I don't know. It was like, I just was not expecting anything. And I think that's one bit of advice that I've really, especially recently, really held on to, that Lee Zimmerman gave. I can't remember who she gave it to, but I definitely heard her say it. Maybe she was in an interview or something, when I did chorus line with her. And she said, you don't deserve anything. And it sounds really harsh, but actually what she means is, it's like, you're not owed anything. You're not, I don't know, because you obviously want to be positive and you want to feel that you deserve, you know, I believe that I'm good enough to, say, play Christine Daae. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to happen. And also, I think what helped was that I didn't get it originally. So it wasn't like I was going at it for the first time. It's kind of like, well, I've already not got this once, so I can kind of accept not getting it again. And I think as well, when like a lot of life stuff has happened, it sort of puts it in perspective a little bit, that it's okay, because there's lots more worse things that can happen than not getting a job. Which also sounds like I'm trying to trivialize it, which I am so not, because trust me, I know how it feels when you really want a role and you really, you put so much effort into it, as I did with this. It wasn't like I was just like, I don't care. I still put the work in, I put the time in, and I really fell in love with it, even more than the first time. But there was just that element of like, it's okay. And I think that really helps, and that if I could give you one bit of advice, that would be it. It's sort of not to put too much on it, because I don't believe necessarily it's just like, oh, what's meant to be is meant to be. I think you have to work for it, but I think to an extent, if you put so much on it, it kind of, I don't know, it adds pressure, and I think for me, definitely it hinders my overall experience and my performance. And I think the fact that I was more relaxed really helped. It helped my voice, it helped my posture. Oh my gosh, I don't think you haven't even like seen that I have Invisalign basically, but when I take them out and when I have them in, I get really like weird, like I don't know where my teeth are. So I've taken them out for this video, but I probably should have just kept them in. Anyway, we digress. So that's the main thing I think I've taken from this experience. Another thing is to paperclip your sides, because that really helped me. I had 4 songs basically to audition with this time, and some of them were quite long, and we kind of flicked through and we went backwards and forwards. And if I hadn't paperclipped them, I would have been lost. Most of the time for an audition, you will, have like your sellotaped song, or you will have it in your ring binder or your book or something like that. But with scenes, and this, it's really hard with this because a lot of like Phantom and Love Never Dies is kind of like scenes that are songs. So it was very much like I knew the songs, but I had them with me just in case we needed to work through things, or I needed to write things down, or I needed to look at something quickly. So I just had the material like I would have had scenes for an audition, and I paperclipped them. This is something I stole from someone at an audition, I think. Who was it? Dan Crosley. Dan Crosley, if you're watching this, which you're most likely not, I saw you paperclip your sides. I can't remember what we were auditioning for, and I thought it was a really good idea, so I stole it. So all credit to Daniel Crosley for that tip. That is sort of the gist of my audition process. I really wanted to share that with you guys. So many of you have actually been asking. I am going to do a Q&A video at some point as well, answering your other questions, so look out for that very, very soon. I'm actually going to be filming that this week. But I really wanted to share that process with you and share how not straightforward these things can be. A lot of the time, I know I've said in the past, what audition processes can be like. This just shows you that they can sometimes be completely not what you are expecting, or not what you are taught, or not what you think an audition process should or will be like. But saying that, it's been my favourite audition process I've ever done. I felt so creatively rejuvenated. I felt really able to connect with the team, with the music, with the character. It was so, I think the relaxed impersonalness of it really helped me, really enjoyed it. And I also really wanted to share with you about the beginning part of the audition process, because it would be very easy for me to sit here and say, oh yeah, I just got called up and sent to His Majesty's Theatre and they just what, but that's just not what happened. Like, I didn't get it originally, and then I did, and that's the truth of it, and that's sometimes what happens in this industry, and that's the truth, and that's what I really want to share with you, and I want you to know what it's actually like. So that is what happened. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, useful, interesting. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.